Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about all the books I read in April. This month I read 8 books. If you're shocked as I am, join the train because I can't believe I read 8 books. This month was a very interesting month for me where I didn't rate any books 5 stars. My ratings are across the board. I have, I'd say, a 2-star, I have a lot of 3 stars, and I have a couple of 4 stars. So yeah, no books this month really like 100% wowed me, but there were some books I enjoyed and there were some books that I didn't really enjoy. Without further ado, let's just get into those books. The first book I want to talk about is Kill All Happies by Rachel Kahn. This book came out, I want to say May 2nd. This is a very, very short book. It's less than 300 pages, so if you're looking for a short book, I'd recommend this one. But other than that, I didn't really enjoy it. It was an easy read. It was somewhat enjoyable. This is all about a girl that wants to throw this huge epic graduation party at this restaurant called Happy's, which is her desert's town claim to fame, and it's all about that. I didn't really enjoy it that much. The characters weren't that great. The dialogue wasn't that great. It was just overall kind of a book, so I gave it like a 2.75 out of 5. Rachel Kahn is known for writing with other authors. David Leviathan, I think she writes with a lot. They wrote Lillian Dash's book The Dares. I will say I like her writing better when she's collaborative. I'm not a fan of this one, so yeah, I would say probably skip this one. Not that amazing. The next book I want to talk about is The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. Beautiful cover. This book was sent to me in review as well as Kill All Happies, just to let you know, as a full disclaimer, both of them were mentioned in paid promotion videos, but I still spoke the truth about them. It's about a girl named Flora whose memory resets itself every 7 to 8 minutes, and she kisses her best friend's boyfriend, and suddenly she can remember that memory. So she's all on a journey to find this boy named Drake because she believes that he is the cure for her memory loss. This was an okay read. I would recommend this strictly for the fact of memory loss. I do enjoy reading memory loss books. I feel like it could get weighted down though because Flora is learning new information every 7 minutes. You know, we as the reader already know what's going on, so it's kind of having an influx of the same information over and over again. But it was still very interesting, and I did enjoy the premise behind this book, so that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was overall enjoyable. I didn't love the writing style as much, and I didn't love the character Drake. And Flora was somewhat of an okay character. There was nothing really, I would say, memorable about this book, so it's kind of just an average book for me. The next book is This Side of Home by Renee Watson. This is all about 2 identical twins, Nikki and Maya, who go to the school and starting to really feel her connection to her community, and Nikki's kind of just going with the flow of things. It has a great message behind it with community and talking about racism and things like that, so I did enjoy it for that matter. I will say I wasn't a huge fan of the writing style. It wasn't like super memorable or anything like that. It was a very fast-paced read, I will say. I do enjoy the message of this book overall, and I would recommend you read it for those things. And so I gave it a 3 out of 5. Again, another average book for me, but I will say I did enjoy this one. The next book I want to talk about is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and this is probably my least favorite in the trilogy, which doesn't surprise me because a lot of reviews on Goodreads are saying the same thing. They didn't love the second one. Sometimes I'll have reviews where it will say that this is their favorite. This for me was my least favorite. I felt like the character development was great in this book, but I felt like it took forever to pick up. Like, I wouldn't say it didn't get interesting for me until like halfway through the book when the tournament, because this whole second book revolves around a tournament. That's all I'm going to tell you because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it took about midway for this book to get interesting, so that's my fault for it. I will say it just took a while to get going, but when it got going, it was very good. And so I gave this one like a 3.5 out of 5. I know that's kind of a low rating for V.E. Schwab because I love her books, but this one I just felt could have been more. There could have been a lot more things to happen in this book that just didn't, and I felt like we kind of wasted a lot of time getting to the point. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry to say. Moving on to my 4-star reads, I have a few of these. The first one is When Dibble Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I probably pronounced it wrong. This book actually comes out at the end of May, so be on the lookout for it. I really enjoy this one. It is cute. It is bubbly. It is overall, it has great diversity in it. It's a very, very adorable book. This is all about Dibble and Rishi. Dibble really doesn't believe in the idea of arranged marriages, whereas Rishi really does, and their parents kind of like are like, hey, let's try to get them together, see if it'll work out. It's all about their summer at this like graphic design type of program, and it was really enjoyable. I will say this wasn't my favorite contemporary I've ever read because I felt like it kind of drug on at some points, but it was still overall very, very cute. Like I said, I loved reading about this arranged marriage because I've never read something about like that, so it was great to open my eyes up to that, as well as I love the diversity in this book. I love the two main characters. Rishi, so freaking adorable. So overall, like I said, I gave this one a 4. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend this to you for sure because it is an adorable contemporary book. The next 4 out of 5 is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is the first book in a duology, trilogy, I'm not sure, I never am. This is all about scythes, and they really control the populations. So in this world there is hunger, no disease, no war, no misery. Scythes control the population. And so it's all about these two main characters who are apprentices to become scythes, something neither of them want. This book was really good. Like, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I've never read a Neil Shusterman book before, and I'm surprised because he's written so many, but I've been hearing nothing but good things about this book, and I can understand why. This is definitely a book that will make you think. This will make you think about, you know, death almost, and how we control, and how, you know, it happens, and randomness, and it's just a very, very interesting book for that matter, and it is a fast read. I read this book in 3 days, which is saying a lot for me personally, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like my 100% overall favorite. I think if I could be real technical about my rating, I would give it a 4.25 out of 5, but I would definitely recommend this book. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I really can't wait for the next book to come out because it left on kind of a cliffhanger, and I really enjoyed how they did that, and I'm just, very, very, very intriguing plot. Like, this book of the month gets award for intriguing plot for sure. The last 2 books are my favorite books of the month, as you can clearly tell. The first one of those is going to be A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the 3rd and final book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and I am so glad I read this. I was very hesitant, if I'm honest with you, to read this after Gathering of Shadows because I felt so kind of about that book, but I was like, no, I said I was going to finish this trilogy this month, and I have to do it because May's going to be insane. I'm so glad I read it because it definitely delivered. I wouldn't say this is my favorite book of the trilogy. My favorite's still the first one, honestly, but this one was so good. The reason I have not given it a 5 out of 5 is for 2 reasons. It takes a little bit for it to get off yet again. I feel like it takes about a quarter to maybe halfway through, and this is a chucker of a book, to get really good. But once the plot got going, it got going, and it was very, very interesting. But I feel like with this book, we have a lot of roller coaster feelings where it's kind of like it has a great action sequence, and then we go down kind of and nothing really happens, then it comes back up again. And that's not a fault, I think, but sometimes I kind of just want to ride that high on the roller coaster as long as I can with the action and keep things at a relatively fast pace. This book kind of dips back down and up. If that makes any sense. I'm not sure. And the other reason I didn't love it is for the ending. I felt like the ending was a little bit rushed. Like, it just happened within a matter of like 30 pages, and things got tied up really, really quickly, and I felt like, hey, this is kind of a lengthy book. We should have taken a little bit longer to really delve out the ending and to really flesh it out, but that's just my opinion. So those are the only 2 things I didn't love about this book. The pacing, I wasn't a fan of the pacing as well as the ending, but overall I would give this book like a 4.5 out of 5, I guess you could say. It was really, really interesting, and I would recommend this trilogy overall. It was a very, very complex, a very, very intriguing, a fun trilogy to get into, so I would definitely recommend it if you like magic and things like that. But the second book is just not my favorite, but I feel like the 3rd book definitely remedied that problem for me overall. And my favorite book of the month is Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. This is one of the new releases that came out in April, and I read it. And I knew, I had a feeling I was going to love it, and I'm so glad I did. This one, I would say, teeters dangerously close to 5 stars because I enjoyed it that much. This is a kind of you got mail retelling. I've said that. That's the only thing you really need to know going into it. And it takes place in California, in the surfer town, and it's just overall amazing. I mean, this is the perfect summer book. If you're looking for a beach read, pick this one up. I keep acting like I'm Vanna White modeling it, but seriously, pick it up. It's just overall adorable, honestly. I think it's just adorable is one thing I'd say about it. So yeah, I would say I'd give this like a 4.75 out of 5. We're gonna get technical, but the more I think about it, the more I want to move it to 5 out of 5 because I just enjoyed it so much, and I still think about it regularly, which is, you know, how you write a good book when you think about it after you finished it. So yeah, overall, if you're looking for an adorable contemporary book, this is the perfect book for you. So these are all the books I read this month. Sorry for some of them are upside down, but overall good reading month. 5 of them came out from my TBR shelf, which is always a good thing because May I'm reading all new, brand new releases. So yeah, TBR shelf's not gonna be touched for May at all. But hopefully June I'll pick back up and just decimate my TBR shelf. Like, I want the thing, like, gone almost. So yeah, either way, I thought it was a great reading month. Like I said, no 5 stars, but that's okay. I enjoyed pretty much everything that I read. If you have read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. I would love to know if we agreed on the same topics, if we disagreed. Also, what books did you read this month? Was it a good reading month for you? Was it a bad reading month for you? Are you excited for May releases? Because I know I am. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to see 3 bookish videos from me every single week. I will see you in the next video. Bye.